Hello, everybody. It is August 8th, 2022. I'm Drew,
I'm Tara.
and this is Melon Fights, sports and entertainment podcast. I was about to say something, but I forgot what it was, Bags.
Hmm.
I don't
You
remember.
should.
Oh, I was going to say, are you gonna learn from the videos to be conscious of the vid on you? Tara doesn't realize the vid's on her and just does really weird stuff the whole time, knowing that I make clips from it. And she's like always staring into the camera, and she's always like fucking around with something, making dumb faces. This is like, you're on camera, dummy.
I
Like,
know. I forget. I'm so in the moment that I don't realize that I'm on camera. But I was so embarrassed with me clipping my face up like last week's clip because it was funny content, but I looked like a psychopath.
yeah, you're a dunce. So,
Yeah. So this week I'm
um,
gonna stop doing that stuff, and then also when I listened back, if I laugh, I'm gonna try to laugh away from the microphone because I was annoying the shit out of myself.
when you actually listen to the pod,
Yeah, I was like, oh
yeah,
God, how do people listen to this? So,
your mic's too
um,
hot, and probably needs to be turned down a little bit more. But yeah, your laugh can be loud
I'm just
and
gonna laugh upward. Ha ha ha
cracky.
ha. Yeah, it was
That'll
annoying.
that'll be that'll be fun. Um, yeah. So this week, I don't know. We don't have to really. I don't know. There's nothing. I don't know. As like we talked about that Deshaun Watson thing last week. There's no real update on that.
No.
The appeal happened, and you know it's still a fucking farce and all that jazz. So no need to talk about that this week. We're gonna do our top 10 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, actually, we're gonna call it top three plus because we are a top three podcast. So top three plus. We both watched Scarface.
We did.
Um, and I actually am glad I did. And um, yeah, I put up a video today on our TikTok and Instagram, an old school one, Tara,
I saw
where
that.
I kind of just took the meat of it, like the meat of one of ours, like the kind of the wild part.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you who don't follow us, you won't see it, but it was funny because I'm just like, I, my beard is getting out of control. I realize, and I've actually been wanting to trim it. I just don't want to trim it too much because I do like having a big beard. But I'm so young and beautiful in that thing,
I
and like
know.
sort of and like kind of fit.
You're
And
definitely
it's like
fit.
I think it's about 6 years ago. I think is when we did that. It might have been 2015. It went up in 2017, oddly enough.
Yeah.
But our 2016. But I think we recorded it in 2015.
It was
That's
crazy.
why.
I looked so young too, and my hair was super duper blonde,
Yeah.
and we were
Oh yeah.
in the
I feel like
chicken
you
coop.
look more. I think you look much more similar than I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Like it looks like you.
I mean, you're a clean,
Where I.
like a clean cut dude in that,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're
Mm-hmm.
just a grizzly old mountain man.
Curmudgeon. Am I just a grizzly
Curmudge.
old curmudgeon now?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it
Yeah.
is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, go watch it on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Tara and I used to do some sketch. I think we should start doing that again. I did enjoy that, and I learned like some of the stuff on either end of it. I like it, and it makes it like a real thing. But if we want to do some shorter stuff where it's just bonkers like that,
Yeah,
we definitely can do that. So we say poopy a lot in it
yeah.
because we think the word like it was like we do a lot of our stuff is real dirty, and we'll say shit and fuck and poop is funnier to me. Like someone
Oh
saying
yeah.
poopy is so ridiculous, like poopy over and over. So give it a watch, guys, or don't. Don't bother me none. Or does it?
It
Um,
probably does.
yeah, a little bit. Uh, do you? So let's start with Scarface since we haven't had a movie in a while. I'm
Sure.
thinking. And the nice thing is we did both watch it, and I have some takes on it too. Obviously, since I realize I probably haven't seen it in almost. I bet you almost 10 years. it's been a long time since I watched it. Um, so, but we'll start with you and your take on Scarface. Well, so we'll start with I'll do like the fastest synopsis of it for those of you who have not seen it. Scarface. It's from the 80s. Um, Al Pacino plays a Cuban coming to the U.S. Is it from the 80s? Yeah, it's from the 80s.
Mhm.
A Cuban coming. It might be the late 70s. I should actually look that up. Terry, why don't you look it up while I talk? Are you fast enough? I feel like you're slower. I bet I'll have it first. Hold on. Scarface, 1983. How
Yep.
did it take you so long?
Well, I have to like reach around my microphone and all
What is
sorts of
this?
stuff.
I got. Come on. I have it prepped and ready to go.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
a pro. Um, 83 is when it came out. The year before I was born. Al Pacino plays a Cuban, and he's like a giant. He's part of the big drug, like cocaine deal. That's the whole thing. All right,
Yes.
Tara. I know it was an ordeal for you to get it for some reason
Yeah.
and watch it. It's long. It's long,
It
but
is
I don't.
long.
For as long as it is, it moves pretty good though. I think honestly.
I think it
We'll
moved
see.
pretty good too. I think at times I was just like, how is there still 2 hours left of this? And then it kind of moved
Sure.
quickly though, like once I saw it.
Once it started
Overall,
going.
it was a pretty decent movie. It just had some really crazy moments. Like a lot. I
Yeah.
was like, looking it up and it like when they first were trying to release it, they wanted to rate it X instead of
Sure.
R. So they had to keep like having uh
Because it was so violent.
yeah. And they even said that like they resubmitted it with like taking stuff out, but then when they finally showed it, they put it back in, I'm pretty sure. Um
That's funny.
but it was pretty violent, but not like I don't know. I think I'm so used to violent stuff now, like with John
Yeah.
Wick and stuff like that, to where it
Sure.
wasn't jaw dropping or anything like that. Um,
Yeah. Different time.
yeah,
The stuff like that just it wasn't in movies. Like like after that, it was like kind of became standard in movies. The
yeah.
violence in it. Um,
Because I think it was
so
controversial when it first came out, where people were like, "What the heck is this?" But I thought it was interesting, just kind of like it was a take on kind of the American dream
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
how like the search for money and power can become kind of like this endless spiral of unhappiness, especially when you'll
Absolutely.
do whatever you want in order to get that money and power.
Right.
And in
It's a
the
it's
end,
a what?
it's
Yeah.
ugh, crazy.
I actually think it's this. So watching it this much later, like 10 years later, I actually think I watched it a totally different way this time. Like I think I remember
Sure.
when I was younger, like in my early 20s, I probably saw it when I was like 18 or 19 or something like that. I was like, oh, this is a cool movie. It's like they say fuck a lot and like do
Hmm.
cocaine and there's girls and they party and kill and it's like, oh, this is a fun movie. But then I watch it now and you're absolutely right. It's actually a lot better movie than I realized. Like it's actually a
Yeah.
pretty interesting take on, like you said, the American dream and like happiness and chasing money and happiness. Uh, so I think that's a good take from Tara. Seeing it as the first time at 36 is probably a little different.
Yeah. Also, what I think it was funny is like, and this happens with me a lot when I watch these movies and I see how think like other films have like taken stuff from it and like reference it in
Sure.
a way, and the
Yeah.
one that was most noteworthy for me was like the basketball reference of like first we get the khakis and then we get the girls and like
Yeah.
first we get the money,
Sure.
that part, like because Tony does something really similar, like first we get the something, then we get the money, then we get the girls type of thing. And I don't know, it was interesting.
You're you're so ridiculous.
Why?
Your references and the things that you take from movies are so wild. It's like, oh, that makes me think of basketball, and
It
like that makes me think
does.
of, and that makes me think of Austin Powers. And it's just like, it's so funny
That
what
makes me
your
think of
reference.
51st
It's
Dates.
yeah, it's so funny what your reference points are. You're such a knob.
But that definitely, they took that part
Yeah,
from,
absolutely, absolutely,
and
Tara.
I was like, oh
But
my God. Like, so it makes it even more funny
sure,
watching, if I were to watch basketball back, it makes it more funny. Was that a Topo Chico?
ew, yeah, Tara. I'm out of Truly, and I just took a sip of my Topo. It's gross. You guys are acting like it's good. It's gross. Guess what? Topo ain't gonna be our sponsor.
Is that
That
the
tastes like
one that,
shit.
is that a margarita one?
Signature margarita, yeah.
So Miranda told
I
me they were
do not
good.
like it.
I ended up getting, I felt like an alcoholic, but I had like a silo of it because I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
try it, but I didn't want to get a full one. And I was like, this ain't it.
I agree. I
Not
agree.
good.
Though I had this is the signature one.
Yeah.
I had one the other night that was like strawberry hibiscus. That one I didn't hate as much. This one has
Okay.
a flavor to it that's like
Uh,
off putting.
yeah,
It's like
like
almost like the
sour
agaves. It's almost like I'm
or like
tasting the agave too
rotten.
much.
It's a little rotten, maybe. Like
Yeah.
dirty water.
Yeah, I'm not liking it.
No, I
Back to
didn't like
back
it
to
either.
Tony back to Tony Montana. What about
Dr.
the name
Pony
Tony? What about the name
Montana.
Tony Montana? What
It's
about
a
that as a
good,
name?
it's a great name. I mean, it rivals with like Johnny Castle as in
It's good, right?
one of the best names. It's a cool dude name.
Let's get into the movie a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
what about it? What did you like? Did you like? Was there certain aspects of you liked about it?
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining enough. I thought like I don't know, it was kind of a bummer of a movie though too. It didn't have a lot of happy moments at all.
No, Tara.
At all.
This is the first time I watched it, and I just realized Al Pacino is pissed off the entire fucking movie.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
not happy for a single second in that movie.
No.
He is so angry
Mhm.
at all times. It's insane how
I
mad he is
know.
all the whole. It's like never an ounce of like I get it. Like life was hard for him growing up in Cuba
Yeah.
as an Italian man.
I know. So bad.
But he's just so mad the whole movie, Tara.
So mad. I mean, Al Pacino does a really great job acting. He's very good in it. But I even like thought about once he like got the girl, then all of a sudden he was being an asshole to the girl, and like it wasn't a happy time. Like he was so mean and called her like a bobblehead and a junkie and all sorts of things.
Yeah,
And like,
he's an
dude,
asshole to
you
her.
are a jerk off. Like you are never going to be happy even though you have what
No,
you
you're
think
right.
you want.
You're right. There's the scene where he's in his house in a hot tub in the floor in the middle of his house, and all he is pissed off. And then he has
Uh-huh.
and he's smoking an awesome cigar, a beautiful woman behind him, and there's an ounce of happiness in him.
No.
Not even an ounce of it. It's wild.
And he
Like
screams at his best friend and
yeah.
like
He's like,
just
fuck this, fuck that, to the point where I was almost like, dang, bro. And then she's like, enough with the fucks.
yeah.
It's always fuck
Now
this.
you know what mom
I thought it was
thinks.
really, I know, it's super fucking funny.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Tara. She would have been fine with those fucks because he was very angry. She likes angry fucks. Wait, that sounded wrong, but
it did.
So anyway, back other takes you had from it.
His sister relationship was really strange, and then spoiler alert, at the end, like that how that all went down.
Yeah.
And she was like, she's like, fuck me because you won't let anyone else, like that's what you want. And I was like, I kind of was getting that weird vibe from like the jump, like where he just had like a strange like control
Yeah.
issues over his sister. And
Absolutely. It was like this
cool.
weird like ownership thing.
Yes.
She was wrong. It was the vibe of them. I mean, it actually made a lot of sense when it happened.
Oh yeah. Like,
and
I
then
kinda
and
knew
then
that they were like, that his best friend and his sister were gonna get together, and then he was gonna
well,
kill
yeah,
his best friend. Like, I
well, yeah,
kinda knew.
that was definitely that's yeah, that was like an obvious thing
Yeah. How
that
about
that
that
was
end
gonna be
scene with just, like,
the
all the
whole
machine
the
gunning?
shootout.
Oh my
Tara, I mean,
gosh.
that's why like when you're 18, 19 years old, that's why you want to see Scarface is that
And then he's
scene.
just, like, standing there, like,
And they're like
having them
shooting him and
shoot
blowing him
him,
away.
and he's like, "You
And
can't
it's
get
on.
me!" And then the guy shoots him in the back.
Yeah. Isn't it wild that that movie was like on every rapper's wall, like the poster for it for like 20 years? It might still be. I don't know. Like that was
Yeah.
who like they wanted to try to base their like personality on was Tony Montana, like the unhappiest dude in the world. Did they
Right?
not understand that?
It's funny because I like Shaq, he talks about how like he kind of has like the Tony Montana mindset where he wanted to like bring his friends along and like lift them up as well, and they all have like I think a tattoo that says uh like the world is ours instead of that is the world is mine, just the acronym of that, and how
Mm-hmm.
that he was like, I know it sounds crazy, but like I wanted to like lift people up like Tony did, even though he wasn't as controlling.
Who did Tony lift up
Well,
at
all his
all?
friends got crazy rich too.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had to have someone do his dirty work. It
Yeah.
wasn't like he was trying to lift them up. I don't. That's not
Well,
what was going on.
he did have a moment.
I think that's a bad read.
He did have a moment where he had the line that he drew where he wasn't going to kill the kids and the wife.
What's that got to do with what we were talking about, though? Obviously, he isn't going to kill like a kid and a woman. Like that doesn't have anything to do with lifting up your friends. They have
Well,
nothing to do with each other.
basically, you were making it sound like he had no conscience.
No, I didn't. I was just saying that he didn't lift his friends up. They made money too, but that was in, you know, because he needs someone to do his dirty work. So it was going to be someone getting paid. So it's going to be the people closest to him because that's who he could trust the most.
Well, Shaq
He's not
did
some. He's
say
it's Shaq. Shaq's wrong.
no, but he said it. He knows that it's like a little like off, but and it's not like 100% that. But he just wanted to lift his friends up. I don't know, Drew.
There's not even like a scene in the movie where he's like, "I'm bringing my boys with me." There's not even a scene like that.
But he always
That's just a.
does.
That's who's around him. It's not. What are you talking about? He always does. He turns on people all the time in the movie. He kills his best friend because he
That
bangs his sister.
that was like a
I
fit
get
of
it.
rage.
You're all dead. Stay away from Tara.
Oh God.
I feel like my friends probably thought that when we were younger.
I'm
Like
sure.
they weren't allowed to ever talk to you. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't even care what Tara's up to. When we were kids, I was like, I don't care what's going on.
I don't even like her.
She's a shit. Anyway, really good violence in it. Wild last
Yes.
scene. I was gonna count how many people died in it, but I just like it was too much work.
How
How
about
about when
when
he's
he's
the
just
dude's
like
getting his
you go arm cut
go ahead.
off by
The chainsaw part?
yeah.
It's an insane scene, man.
And it's so
That's such
early
an insane scene.
on.
It's very early. And then when the guy tries to escape and he like jumps out the window and he goes flopping on like the
Yeah,
stairs, that was awesome. It's a good movie.
it is.
It's a fun movie.
Or when he's like
As far
just snorting like the the
the
mountain
mound of coke.
cocaine,
Well, that's the
and
other
he
thing.
just
That's the
keeps
other
going
thing.
in.
That's the other. I mean, he's committing suicide at that point. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he's trying to kill himself.
yeah.
He's like so upset and distraught. Like I can't handle this shit.
I mean,
But yeah,
he
that's
was
again like these
so
gangs.
distraught early on, like before he when he's at the club and he like punches his sister or slaps her or whatever, and he's just like
Right.
sitting at that table and it's just like
Before they try to like
so
assassinate
miserable.
him.
Before they yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's just like sitting there stewing in the fucking booth. God, if you haven't
Yeah.
seen this movie, guys, go ahead and watch it. It's wild. It is long.
Uh-huh.
I was lucky enough. I think it was probably less long for me because I've seen it before. So I actually kind of like just had it on was doing things. I didn't like have to like totally zone in. I kind of knew like what to like when to really pay attention. I might have missed a few things here and there, but so to me it kind of moved really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Uh so Scarface again, that was another part though, the cocaine where the rapper's like, oh yeah, look at all the I'm like, yeah, but like
It's ruining his
this is
life.
the seconds before he's murdered for because his greed got the best of him.
Yeah.
His greed and his pride and his like weird like just
Control.
controlling mindset. Like listen, he came up in a hard life, this fictional person, and but he didn't handle it well, and it went awry.
It did go right.
You know, I mean, he basically took
Want to know
over.
what I also hated? And this is like such a minimal
Sure.
thing, but like when he just left his dishwashing job and left the guy in the lurch. I was like, oh, you're an asshole. I felt really bad for the guy at the food truck or whatever it was. I'm like,
Sure.
oh,
Sure.
what's he gonna do?
Yeah, absolutely. Just some other dude trying to get by. I'm with
Mm-hmm.
you. That's always been my thing with like, I totally get when people don't like their job and are like ready to move on and then quit. But when they just quit, and you know, don't put in like a 2 weeks or something like that, I don't really care. Like, I'm not putting the 2 weeks in honestly for like the company. It's
No.
so my coworkers' lives aren't fucking shit
Yeah.
for 2 more weeks because it's happened to me when someone stops showing up and then I got to start doing shifts I don't want to do and I got to start picking up slack elsewhere. That's why you do it. You do it for your
Yeah.
fucking fellow working man.
Exactly.
That's really the important part, you know. Because then like after when you do that, people are like, what a douche, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of because it fucks them. I get it. You want to move on. You got to do things for yourself, but like unless you have like a like real reason to leave right that day,
Yeah.
you know, like plan ahead because it's just better for like unless you hate everyone at work, unless they're all super big dick lickers,
Yeah.
that's a different story. But a lot of times that's usually not the case. Usually the coworkers will kind of
That's who
have a
gets you through the day.
camaraderie of sorts, you know? It's like the only thing that gets you through the day is like, oh, cool, today I'm
Mhm.
working with some people I dig. So yeah, Scarface. What are we ranking it, Bagger? What are we ranking Scarface?
I'm gonna give it 8.
8.
8 out of 10. Bumps.
8 out of 10 bumps.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 bumps. You can tell Tara is quite the cokehead. 8 out of 10 bumps. What a knob.
Oh man.
Oh shit. 8 out of 10 bumps.
8 out of 10 bumps.
Not the full 10 bumps. So that sounds like you liked it a decent amount. Like you really dug it.
I did.
And you're right. Pacino's really good in it. Like
so good.
Like the whole accent and stuff is a little bad at points and a little cheesy, but like the acting in it, like his like just the way he's so angry the whole time and like stewing in it, he's really good with his face in it. Like the voice and whatever is a little silly at points.
Yeah.
But I think he's really awesome in it.
I do too.
That's my take. I give it 2 severed limbs.
Out of 4?
I guess that would be. I was thinking it'd be No, it's probably 3 severed, 4, 4 severed limbs.
Out of 4?
I forget that legs are limbs. Well, yeah, because legs are limbs, I guess.
So you're giving it a 4 out of 4?
Well, and then the head stays, so it's not a perfect. If it was like decapitation included, I think it'd be that'd be the perfect score it could get.
All right. I like it.
Scarface. I hope other people watched it, and if they did, email us about it. Tell us what your take was and what we missed. We missed a lot. It's not like we really broke it down completely.
No.
So, We'll probably have a movie next week once we go through our top 10 list. Though the top 10 I went with, I think Tara may have seen them all.
Ooh.
We shall see. I don't think I went weird at all. So, but that's it for Scarface. Tara, what do you think about? We have a couple emails. There's only a couple, but we do have
Ooh.
emails later. Do you have any sports for the week? Like sports are. That's why I went with this top 10 list. It's sports are. We're in the dead of the summer. Baseball's the only thing going on, but it's like not a ton is going on in baseball just yet. And that's all that's really going on. Football's about to start, so that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel
What do you
like
got?
that is 100% correct because ESPN did ESPN 8 the Ocho just to fill up some
Oh,
space.
did it happen? That happened?
It happened. I
I love
tried
when they do the Ocho.
I watched it and so I watched some of the dodgeball and let me just say that dodgeball is a very fun game to play but not so much to watch. It's so
No, no, it's not cool to
stupid.
watch at all. People that
It's
are
just
like
like a lot
play it
of
like yeah, the people that like play it profession or like at a high level are like not cool.
professionally they have like professional
Yeah,
leagues.
it's not cool. They're not cool. It's not
Yeah.
cool at all. Yeah, the Ocho. I like that they started doing the Ocho like about probably I don't know about 10 years ago, maybe not that long just yet. I
Yeah,
never
I think
catch
it's
it. They only
been
do it for like one. They only do it for one day. I feel like they just should do it for
yeah.
like a whole week,
Well, and then
so you could catch it.
so I started watching it and I'm like, "Oh, dodgeball's on." And then dodgeball bored me. So I watched it for I think 30 minutes. And yeah, it just and a lot of it is you can't tell they're getting hit, so they're like raising their hands and like going out. I don't know. It just wasn't that great. But some of the other stuff they had I wanted to watch. There was like this Pogo Palooza where like
Oh,
they were pogo sticking and jumping over stuff and I missed it
sweet.
cuz I forgot about it, but I
I don't
saw
think they advertise it well enough.
they don't.
Like get people excited about it. Come on.
And then they had cornhole which is boring for
Not
me to
and
watch.
they play that. Don't play stuff that you put on TV all the time.
No.
Get it off. That's on TV all the time. Get it
Right.
out of here.
Like, have it be like that Finland horse thing, like we talked
Have
about,
it be what
or
David sent another one that we're going to talk about. Have it
good.
be the thing we're going to talk about. So
And then they had like a corgi run where it was just like corgis like racing,
that's
which
fun
that's cute.
for about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I couldn't
So
watch it more
there
than
was
for like two
more stuff
seconds.
too, but I didn't see all of it. I saw like none of
Oh,
it,
yeah,
but yeah.
the idea is good. They don't execute it that well, though.
Mhm.
I think it could be a lot better and like actually people would care about it, but they
And they
don't
should
do
have
it
like
well.
much better announcers. Like they should bring in
They should be
people
taking it
that
fucking serious.
they should
Yes,
bring in people that are actually funny and like are even playing a character or something cuz during the
absolutely.
dodgeball one it had like the dodgeball commissioner and I was like, "Okay." Like he would get really excited about stuff that like only a dodgeball nerd would get excited about and it's have it be the two guys from not the actual two guys but guys more like that and that are from the movie.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, they just need it to be more of like a production, I think, where
I
maybe they're
agree. It's really like here's a weird sport that no one's like. They're not trying. They should try to make it a thing, and they're not making it a thing. They're making it boring, so
yeah,
no one would ever watch dodgeball ever again. Basically,
right.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I always felt like that movie was one of the more overrated comedies of all time.
I liked it.
I like it too, but it's a little overrated. That's my take,
I just think it's like one
and
of
I'm
those like
sticking to it.
super it's quotable. So people have fun like quoting it. But I also think like if it's on TV and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll watch dodgeball. I got nothing else going on."
Sure, I always liked it, but I always thought it was a little, like a little overrated. That's all. Because I think it's some of people's like really favorite a comedy. I don't know
Oh,
about that.
I got some good ones
Topo
on my
Chico.
list.
Um. Oh, So sports wise, you watch the Ocho.
I watched the
Sports.
Ocho.
I was trying to think if there's anything sports wise that I really cared about. Um, I was gonna just say do a quick little. I got nothing honestly.
Aaron
Fantasy
Rodgers,
football has
he's a
come up.
nut.
Aaron Rodgers is a person. Yeah, I don't need to. We don't need to talk about him.
I
We just
just
talked
thought it
about him.
was
Just
so. What? What did we talk about with
we
him?
talked about him showing up to camp dressed like
Oh,
Nicolas Cage.
well, he was talking about doing his ayahuasca, and I just thought it was funny because in the interview, he um he was saying how it makes him a better teammate and a better lover, and all of like the sports guys just could not handle themselves. They're like, oh my god, this guy is a total nut, and he is, but it's like that to me was really funny, and he's kind of got this like new girlfriend. I'm like, this guy's just trying to figure it out like everyone else because he's got weird stuff with his family and is just a person, and he's just a
Yeah,
person.
I've never really had a problem with Aaron Rodgers. I think he can be annoying at points, but I think he's fine. Like, and he's really good at football. Like his like stuff people get on him about. I'm like, he's annoying. He was annoying when it came to like the like vaccine and stuff last year and all that, and just was like, but everyone in the world was annoying about that. It was the most annoying time in the history of time. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. So I don't know what to tell you about that. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a strange cat. He's good at football. And yeah, I know he was interviewed. I even saw the Pardon My Take guys interviewed him, and I'm sure that was
They
interesting.
did?
Yeah, he's on today's episode.
Oh my god. I'm excited because that's oh my I'm excited to
Yeah,
listen to that.
yeah, it'll be interesting knowing that Big Cat hates his
Well, I'm
guts.
just
So, but
surprised that like he went on it.
why? It's like he's in it. He knows that they're also trying to entertain, and he's a
Yeah.
Bears fan, and he's supposed to say he hates Aaron Rodgers. Like, so he's an adult. He's not an idiot. It'll be interesting.
Well,
I'll listen to it
I will
at some
definitely
point
listen to it because
today.
that's fun. The
Um,
only well, the CrossFit Games were in town.
oh, they're in Madison.
Yeah,
I
they're
like the
always in
CrossFit Games.
Madison.
I think they're super interesting to watch.
Yeah, these
I don't like the guy that I don't like the guy that like owns it and runs it. He's a real douchebag. But the actual like CrossFit Games are super interesting to watch.
yeah. Like before, I used to be like, oh, I could win the CrossFit Games if I got
No,
in
Tara. I don't
CrossFit
know if you could.
shape, and I don't know if I could
Sure.
do it anymore. Like now, I feel that
Uh,
I just don't have it in me.
I don't know that you could win it, mostly because I don't know that you have the size. The girls that win it are pretty big. They're like man size, like women. Do you know what I mean? They're like not tiny, petite girls like you. Like you're small, where they're pretty big. You know, not a lot of short people. Like everyone's pretty normal. I will say there's not a lot of tall people in CrossFit.
Right.
It's kind of like normal average, like probably like for guys like somewhere around like 5'8" to 6'1" ish. I feel like are really the most competitive people in it. Like I feel like the guy that wins it a lot is only about 5'8", 5'10", somewhere in that range. And the girls are about that height too. It seems like when I watch it, they seem like they're pretty big. So I think that'd be your biggest issue.
They're
You're
just
also a
looking
little
beefy.
right, and you're not a big lifter. But I'm again, Tara, if
I
you started doing CrossFit stuff, you would. That's the type of body you get though when you do it regularly and have the right diet. You know, and some of them are probably on some shit. If I had to guess,
probably, but yeah,
uh,
you
I
didn't
think
know
I'd
that
actually
they
be
were in
pretty good at.
Madison.
No, why would I know that?
Oh, I just thought it was known.
They're not always in Madison.
Yeah, they are.
No,
Yeah,
the CrossFit Games,
yeah.
the finals are not always in Madison. It was the finals, or it was just a CrossFit thing. Because the finals, I watched it and I've never seen it in Madison before.
I
Ever.
don't know. I
It
thought
was
they were
probably just a
always in
cross.
Madison.
My guess is it was just a CrossFit event.
No, I think it was the CrossFit Games.
I've seen the CrossFit Games is the final. I've never seen it be in Madison. Like they show it and it's like usually somewhere nice.
Alliant Energy
I'm just letting
Center.
you. Okay. I'm letting you know I've watched that. They always have like a Netflix thing of the final, like the actual CrossFit games, and I've never seen it be in Madison.
Hmm.
I'm not saying it wasn't there this year, or maybe the year before, but it's usually not the finals there. I bet it was just in a qualifier, if I had to guess. Like the CrossFit games are a thing, but there's like a final, and that's usually somewhere else. Like we'll say St. Petersburg, Florida. I'll make up a place. Anyway, so what was else? Wait, what? That was your take? Is that you don't think you could get into CrossFit shape now?
I don't think I could win CrossFit anymore. I used to
Well,
think that I could.
you probably couldn't win. That's true. You're too old.
I can't even do
too.
like a rude. I can't even do like a pull up, and I think that's part
Right.
of it.
It's definitely part of it.
But I don't know if I'll ever
I
be
mean,
able to do a pull up.
you would have had to get into CrossFit years ago to be competitive in it at this point. Like it's a thing people do at a very young age now to get into it. Like the people that are good at it now will almost look stupid in the future because everyone like starts doing it at such a young age. Again, if Terry, you would get in CrossFit shape though if you did it regularly and like stuck to a diet, you would get in CrossFit shape and be able to do everything. You know, I could probably do. I'm pretty. When I do stuff for my size, it's kind of insane. Like that, I can even do some of the stuff I do. So maybe if I cut a bunch of weight, I could win CrossFit games. Never once would I believe that. There's too much running involved.
Well, that's the thing. I used to think that I like could and had a little bit of want in me, but now I'm like, no. I read like what one of the events was, and they had like 3 or 4 different moves that they had to do for 15 minutes and then see how many rounds they could do. And I was like, that sounds terrible. I don't want to do it.
There's a lot of the stuff I could do. Some of the body weight stuff, like the pull-ups and like handstand push-ups, like I probably could never do.
No.
Sort of thing. But like a lot of the like weightlifting stuff they do, I'd have no problem. Like I'd like hang cleans and shit like that, and all the shit they do, I'd be fine. Especially if I trained for it. But anyway, CrossFit. We're not going to be champions anytime soon. If you ever, it's interesting. You should watch the final things on. They have a bunch. I don't know if they're on Netflix still. They were there for a while. They might have pulled them off and put them somewhere else because they used to have one come out every year, and I haven't seen one in a while. So, let's go to our top 10, Tara. That's enough sports for now.
Yeah.
Top 10. Actually, I'm sorry. Top 3 favorite movies of all time for me and Tara. Plus. So the top 3 are going to be our top 3 in order, 1, 2, and 3, and the rest we are for me. I just kind of had 10 more or 7 more.
Yeah.
Like, so they're almost honorable mentions to go on the top 3, but I just wanted to get more movies out there, for to hear you talk about them and hear ones you haven't seen.
Okay.
So, we're
starting with 1.
No. We'll do our top 3 last.
Oh.
Let's start with top 3 is going to be last.
Okay.
So we're going to name some we liked, and then we're going to do our top 3.
Love it.
So why don't you give me the first. We'll try to get through this fairly quick, Tara. That's not lollygag on shit too much, because it'll get long. So yeah. Let's start. Let's go. Let's hear your number 10.
Oh.
Or something. We're just going to call it 10. Oh,
okay.
What? Just pick one.
Okay.
That doesn't matter.
The man.
But we got to do 10.
She's the man.
She's the man.
Yeah.
Is one of your 10 favorite movies of all time.
Yes. I love it so much. It's so fun.
It's a comedy.
It's so fun.
It's fun. Listen, it's fine. You're allowed to love it. I'm not going to call these out too much. I know you like that movie. You know, it's
I love Amanda Bynes.
Especially you don't get a lot of female comedies. Like that. Yeah. So I feel like that's a good take by you. Did that come out when we were in high school? Or a little bit after?
I think a little after.
Yeah. Channing's good in it.
He's so
Channing
good.
Tatum's really good in it.
Aww.
Yeah, Amanda Bynes was funny. It's funny. She's pretty actually attractive in it when she's not when she's not the boy.
It's so good. It's so movie. Good. I want to watch it now.
I'll do my top 10. My top 10 is the only one so I technically have 11. My top 10 I couldn't pick between these two. I combined them. They're from the same era, and I really watched them both almost an equal amount. And it's 40-Year-Old Virgin and Super Bad. I have
Oh,
as a combo number 10. As a combo number 10.
I
I just
love
think
both
that
of
they
them.
both are like if someone told me I had to pick one as my favorite of the two, I wouldn't be able to do it. I really just quote them both a lot, watch them both a lot. If someone puts it on, I'm going to watch it. And they kind of feel very similar to me.
I may or may not have
What
both
you,
of those on my list.
I guess we'll see. Well, maybe should I not talk about it anymore? We don't
I
have to
don't
talk
know.
about it a bunch. We don't have to talk about a bunch of this unless we really feel confident, like we
Yeah,
need to. What's your number 9?
The Notebook. Oh my gosh,
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh,
It's such a good
so
movie.
bad.
Why?
I've never. That's one of those ones where I'm like, this movie is so bad
Oh my
and
gosh, Drew.
overrated.
No. I saw it in the theater with mom, and we were just like bawling our little eyes out at the end. And then as we're leaving, there's an old man and an old woman that were there, and they were like helping each other down the stairs. And it made mom and I just start bawling again. It was
Oh my
so
god.
perfect and sweet.
How how old do you think they were?
Probably
The
the
couple.
same age as the couple in the movie.
Oh my god. Yeah, Tara, that one for me just never like. And I'm not the type of person who doesn't act like I like sappy movies. I definitely do. I just never got the note. Like it was such a hit, and I just didn't get it.
For me, it was in
Didn't get it.
between that and Titanic, and I went with that.
Titanic is so much better. Titanic is so good.
I know.
Titanic is a great movie.
I know.
Oh my god, Tara, that was a bad call by you.
I know.
See here, but that's okay because my number 9 is not. Most people are like this movie sucks. I have The Village as my number 9.
Ooh.
I love The Village.
I do
Most people think The
too.
Village, like some people don't like it because it's an M Night Shyamalan movie and they didn't even see it and they're just like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like M Night Shyamalan movies anymore because he's bad. But
Yeah.
The Village is actually quite good in my opinion,
I
and I
love
actually
it.
think it's the most touching of his movies. Like I
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
got the most
That's a great
heart.
little love
Like it's like
story.
it's a love story. People
Mm-hmm.
think it's like like twist movie and all that jazz. It's just a good love story, and that's actually why I like it is the sappy love
Yeah.
story, and I think is like really good. I think Joaquin Phoenix is so good in it. I think that's the beginning of Joaquin Phoenix like really becoming a great cool actor was his Shyamalan run.
Yeah.
Between that
He's
and
great in
Signs, he's like
signs.
really really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I really like The Village. If you've never seen The Village, guys, watch it. Miranda's acting like she doesn't want to watch it because she thinks it's a horror movie. I'm like, just shut up. It's not a horror movie.
No.
Like you'll jump and get scared maybe at moments, but it's just get over your horror movie thing. Get over it. Grow up. What's your number 8, Tara? Or
Jurassic
number 9?
Park.
Or is this your 8 or your 9?
8. 8.
8.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Shit, not on my list.
I
It should
love
be
it.
on my list. I love Jurassic Park, Tara.
I love it too.
We
I
just
could keep watching it. I just could watch it all the time.
we just watched it last week for I literally picked it to watch it on my birthday. We watched it. We took the big TV we took our big TV on the roof and like plugged it into our sound system up there and watched it on like the middle of the night, like, and it was like awesome.
I
Like
love it. I saw it
watching
in
Jurassic Park on the
theater.
roof.
I saw it in
Mm-hmm.
the theater like when I lived in Chicago. They had it at what's that one? The one that was over by us
Music
in
Box.
East
Oh,
Lakeview.
Landmark. Landmark
Landmark.
does that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was so fun to like see it on the big screen again, and I love it.
Here's
Hold on to your
here's my
butts.
take. Hold on to your butts. Here's my take. I so much prefer when Landmark puts an old movie on compared to this is a Chicago take, guys, for you not Chicagoans. When Landmark puts on an old movie that rather than Music Box. I can't
Yeah.
stand the Music Box seats. Like I hate the theater itself. Where Landmark, I'm comfortable, but I just get to watch Jurassic Park again, and I really like
Yeah.
that. My number 8 is Billy Madison.
Woo! It's on my list too.
Love Billy Madison. Billy Madison is where's it at for you? Or do you not want to give that away? We'll wait. Well, let's talk about Billy Madison when we get to you.
Okay.
It's not in your top 3?
No.
It's not in your top 3? then we
Mm-mm.
can talk about it.
Okay.
Billy Madison is the most quotable movie I've ever watched. Like I've quoted that
Yes.
more probably more than anything I've ever quoted in my life.
And don't you feel like in general people will give like people like Happy Gilmore better, think it's a better movie, but Billy Madison is just by
Way
far
better.
way better.
Way better. I love Happy Gilmore. Don't get me wrong. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun and silly, but Billy Madison is
So
so out of
good.
control.
I
Like
know.
it's so good. And it's like a perfect little movie. It's something that clearly like they'd been thinking about for a long time and they just
Yeah.
like nailed it. I
I
love Billy
remember the first time
Madison.
I saw Billy Madison. It was my 3rd grade birthday party, and we went mini golfing, and then I had friends over and we watched Billy Madison, and then at the end like Stroke the song Stroke comes on, and we just like kept jamming to it at the
Played it
end.
over and over again.
Yeah.
Played Stroke over and over
Yeah,
again.
and it was so fun.
Because it was a cool tune.
Yeah, never heard it before, and we were like,
Uh
"Oh yeah."
yeah. Billy Madison's great. What's your
Mhm.
number 7?
Super bad.
Super bad.
Super bad.
Awesome.
It's so good. Like you said, it's quotable, it's fun.
Quotable.
It's almost feels like two different movies sometimes, like when they're
Yeah.
at school and then like the shenanigans after.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um
yeah. You get the first half and the second half.
and it's like really when you first get a nice taste of Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen and Bill Hader. Just so many
The whole
awesome.
cast,
It's
Tara.
just such a
The
fun
whole cast.
cast.
Emma Stone was nothing
Emma
before that.
Stone. Oh my god, I love.
I mean,
I think
it was the jumping off point for so many people.
I think that my favorite like location is when they're at like the party with like the
Adult
grown up
party,
adult
the
party.
adult party,
Yeah,
like the people in their probably like mid to late 20s
yeah,
party, maybe
it's
even
so good.
30.
Yeah,
Like they do not belong there. Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
it's so
Such
good.
a good
There's
scene.
so many weird things that happen, and it's Merlot. The period on the
Yeah,
left.
it's really fun because it's like a high school comedy, but like all of the humor is like all of their shenanigans almost are like they're so out of place in them because everything is so much like it's like adults fucking with them, you know?
Yeah,
Like the cops, like with McLovin and the cops, like there's always
yeah,
adults around that are really kind of like so it's not just like the teens being teens, like there's adults that are acting like idiots too
yeah.
and assholes that they're having to deal with. And then Jonah's sister was in basically a rip off of it, you know, 12 years later, book Smart that people talk about so highly and I hated it.
I literally stopped watching it because I was
It
bored.
sucks.
And I liked the
Any
movie because there was another one that it was like a friendship one called like blockers,
Blockers was
blockers,
pretty good.
and that was fun. I
Blockers was
liked that
pretty
one a
good.
lot
It was
more.
I thought it was more fun too. I thought that the thing that Booksmart was so similar storyline to Super Bad that I was like, what is the point of this? And then I just didn't care.
Mm-mm.
People like I think people like it because it was like women in a comedy like that, but there's been plenty of other women comedies, not especially at this point, that are like where they get to do gross out humor, and it just
Yeah.
are better. It's like I don't like it. It doesn't make any sense. Like parts of the time, it's not based in reality.
Mm-hmm.
There's like the influencer that just shows up at party, like just like everywhere when they get there, and it's like super weird.
Yeah.
It's got a weirdness to it. I don't know how I feel about it. Oh, I do. I hate it. My number 7 is Superbad's amazing though.
Mm-hmm.
No Country for Old Men is my number 7.
Ooh, I like that one.
Really like that movie. It's just really intense. It's like a really slow, intense, and just like really well done atmospheric movie. I love it.
Yeah. It's great.
That's all we have to say about it. Number I mean there's nothing
Yeah,
else I really need. What's
right.
your number 6?
The Departed.
The Departed. Wow.
I
The
loved
Departed
it
is on
so
your
much.
list already.
Yeah,
That's
I loved
amazing.
it so much, and I feel like I could watch it today. Like that's how much I liked it. I loved all the actors in
You
it. I loved the storyline. I loved it. I loved it.
That's funny. You should watch some more Scorsese shit. He's
Yeah,
really good. Like
I should because
The
I loved
Departed
that
is.
so much.
I love The Departed too. I really do love The Departed as well. But his other shit's really, really excellent too. The Departed's probably the. I mean, it did win Best Picture, Best Director. I don't remember which it won. Maybe both. It won one of them. It was the only time he's won Scorsese, which people get
Well
irritated by because his other
deserved,
stuff.
though.
Because his other stuff is like considered greater and better. But I do love The Departed. I think
I
it's
loved it.
really it's a really well paced, cool movie.
Yes.
Like really fun twists and turns, and you care about everyone in it.
Yeah.
You know, where I think some of his other movies, the characters are really fun, but you care about them in a different way. They're like you enjoy watching them, but you're not like invested in like you really care about what's going to happen to Leo. Where I think in his other movies,
Ugh.
you're kind of like, if everyone dies, it'd be fine. It's just a fun story sort of
Yeah.
thing. My number 6 is Shawshank Redemption.
It's a great movie.
It's like one of the most watchable movies in the history of movies. Like, it's so like, I don't know, and quotable and awesome.
I've only seen it
like
once.
Tara, watch it again. It's like the perfect Saturday movie.
Okay. Because I don't
Shawshank
even know if I
Redemption.
remember too much about it.
Tara, Andy Dufresne is like one of the best characters ever. Like, talk about caring about what happens to somebody. Andy Dufresne.
I do like
and
that
Morgan
name too.
Freeman, Red. Both of them.
I just remember the old guy that commits suicide.
Spoiler alert.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
So Shawshank. Most people have seen Shawshank. If you haven't seen Shawshank, get to it. It could be higher on my list, to be honest. Tara, what's your number 5?
Billy Madison.
Be mad.
Let's
talk about it again. Let's talk about it again. I love Billy Madison. It's so fucking stupid. I mean,
so stupid.
I literally don't know if I quoted anything more in my life. Things like that aren't most people would never quote. I'm trying to think of a good example. I mean, our family. The amount of time someone says, "Stop looking at me, Swan."
That's one of my favorite stories. Is how we watched the movie, then we went to Jeremy's graduation, and Dad was around all of Jeremy's friends, and he kept saying, like, "Stop looking at me, Swan." And they were like, "Who is
like
this
high schoolers?
Yeah. Who is
That's
this
funny.
old weirdo who was not that old?"
I mean, he was probably our age.
Yeah.
He was probably our age.
Yeah.
In that story.
He was.
Like, he's probably exactly our age, to be quite honest. Maybe even a little younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Billy Madison. My number 5 is 7. Big fan of 7.
Oh. I was like, what is it?
7, dipshit.
Yeah.
Oh, do you thought my number 5 is 7?
I just had a
7.
moment.
I just think it's really dark. I think Brad Pitt's really good in it.
What's in the book?
I think Morgan. So back-to-back Morgan Freeman movies. Yeah. That's hilarious because my next movie has Morgan Freeman in it as well.
Jeez, you love Morgan.
How many is he in? He's just in those 3 though. Yeah, 7 is just cool. It's dark. It's twisted. It's like scarier than most scary movies, really.
Mm-hmm.
And just like one of the better twist endings ever.
Yeah, I loved it.
7. What's your number 4?
Dirty Dancing.
DD. Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't be mad at that. As far as sappy movies go, it's like an all-timer.
It's so good. Like there's a fun love story. There's some controversy. There's like classes. It's just so fun.
Sure.
And the dancing is just absolute. Like when they first go into
and Patrick Swayze.
But when she like is carrying the watermelon and they go into the like staff dance party, one of the best. Everyone wants to dance like that, but not many.
When you first see him dancing dirty.
Yeah.
First time you see the dirty dancing.
The
sweaty dirty dancing.
And I'm like, oh, I want to be there. I want to be there.
Yeah, it's rowdy. It's rowdy in there.
And then there's awkwardness though too when she's trying to dance and it's like you're clenching your butt cheeks because you're just like, it's so awkward.
for sure. For sure. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty Dancing's awesome. We watch it so much as kids, like
So
every
much.
weekend. It felt like with our mother dearest.
Yeah. Every Friday.
To the Every Friday. I like Dirty Dancing a lot, and it's one of those movies like we like to go to the drive-in in Chicago, and that's one I want to go see. There is Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I've seen here. Do you want to hear my rundown of drive-in movies I've seen, Tara?
Sure.
We saw Grease, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Home Alone, Hocus Pocus. We like to do the holiday ones. And is that it? I think one more off the top of my head. But they do Jurassic Park a lot. They do Dirty Dancing, Sandlot. These are all things I'd like to see in a drive-in. It's kind of fun to do the
I've
drive-in.
only been to one drive-in movie, and it was Triple X, so not a great movie to see at the drive-in.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was a porn.
Oh.
I thought you went to a drive-in porn movie. Well, we went to drive-ins when we were kids.
I don't remember.
We'd go in the wagon.
Oh, yeah. So, not the only one I've seen, but the most recent. Triple X.
I wish it had been porn. That'd have been really funny. If you were like, the only drive-in I ever seen was it was like, it was pretty good. Porn.
Pretty good. It was a Triple
Not my
X
steez.
movie.
I'm more of I like a little more of a story. My number 4 is The Dark Knight.
Ooh, so good.
The Dark Knight's one of those things where there's probably 5 or 6 scenes in a row. I'll just watch that one scene and move on. I love the opening scene. I'll never forget when I went to I Am Legend, and the opening scene was the trailer for the Dark Knight was just the teaser trailer was just the first bank robbery scene at the IMAX theater. Like, it was right before there was only one preview before I Am Legend. It was the Dark Knight's opening scene. It was awesome.
It's such a good movie. So good.
It's such a smart way to promote a movie.
Mm-hmm.
The way as it was, people need to do more stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like most people love The Dark Knight. I think Miranda, it's probably in her top 5. I think she loves The Dark Knight.
I think I've only seen it once, so if I saw it more, I would.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
So now I'm mad at you because you haven't. First, I'm mad at you because you haven't seen things you need to see. Now I'm naming some of the best things ever, and you've seen them once. You're trash.
Sorry. I'm trying to do better.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I am Batman. I think that's pretty good.
That's good.
All right. Now we're to the real thing. Here's what's real. Top three favorite movies of all time. Go.
Back to the Future.
Give me all 3. I want all. It's just you. All 3. Hold on. You already said it, but I'm going to have you do it again. Tara, top 3 favorite movies of all time. Go.
Back to the Future 3. Willy Wonka 2. The 40-year-old version 1.
Ooh. Top 3. All right, now let's discuss. What was number 3?
Back to the Future.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you were that big of a Back to the Future gal.
I love it. It's so good.
Have you seen all of them or just the first one?
I've seen the first 2.
Okay. You should probably watch the third. It's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah. You've named some things that that could sneak into my top 10. And I just kind of threw this together. The top 3 is set in stone, though. Hey, man, I love Michael J. Fox in that movie. He's so good.
It's such a good movie.
What do you love about it?
I think the concept is really fun.
Yeah.
I love the acting in it. It's really great.
Yep.
I like the kind of throwback to the 50s, was it? And that type of music and just stuff like that.
Sure. Awesome. 2?
Willy Wonka. It's just.
I think everyone that knows us knows that's some reason it's not on my list. I don't know why. I'm crazy. It is,
Yikes.
It probably is my 4th favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Seriously.
But it's not on my list.
I could watch it Oh my god, I just love it. It has shaped me as a human. It might be why I love
Yeah.
candy so much because like I constantly
Sure.
watched it and wanted to like go to the candy shop and
Eat
eat
all
all
that
the
candy.
treats and
Hell yeah.
like be one of the kids that got the free stuff instead of Charlie who was poor and had to,
Had to pay
pay for
for it
his
anyway.
stuff. Yeah.
He might. I like to think that he was ringing those kids up. Like they had a tab that were running,
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
charging them for it.
He's
Like
like,
his parents were
"Ooh."
they were just had yeah. He just was running a tab on them.
Yeah.
His parents were all pissed. I don't Tara. I don't know if I've ever talked about
A movie
or
more.
broke down a movie more than Willy Wonka. Like the things we think. You're right. In all truth, it is my number one movie of all time. Clearly, um, so I apologize for it not being on my list. It is so good,
It's so good.
and we do talk up the amount we talk about it. Tara is kind of aggressive.
I
Like
know. People are probably like, enough.
we break it down so much.
I know. And we don't ever get bored of doing it.
No, I could talk about it's kind of like when Trin talks about like U2
Oh,
or music or Bruce. He really likes to like he'll sit there and he'll want to break he'll like we'll compare two albums that are from like the same era of the bands, and we'll try to just figure out which album was better by comparing track by track or
yeah.
something like that, and it's pretty funny. That's just the way when we love something, we really like to talk about it and break it down.
Yeah.
What you and the number one was
The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
40-Year-Old Virgin. What
I
about it?
love that movie so much. It is just like so funny and quotable. And I think another reason why I love it so much is like dad loves it so much. And I would be in the other room doing something, doing homework or whatever, and he'd be watching the 40-Year-Old Virgin and he would just be giggling away and just like having the
Mm-hmm.
most fun. And that's the thing, it's just like it's fun and it brings our family together in laughter. So, and I could
Yeah,
literally
I
watch
love
it
the
a
40-Year-Old
million
Virgin.
times and I have.
Absolutely.
I mean, the cast is stellar.
Absolutely.
It's just like a
Absolutely.
great cast.
Yeah, we talked about Superbad's cast, but I mean, 40-Year-Old Virgin as well. It was like Carell was already Carell on The Office at that point, but it really catapulted him to new heights.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogan was barely in it, and he was like shot up from that.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Rudd was like middling at that point, and
Yeah.
just like after that, he's like went on a run.
Mm-hmm.
And then other people.
Jane Lynch.
Other people. Jane Lynch is in it. Yeah, that's kind of her first thing, and she's everywhere now too.
Yeah.
Almost like too much. I really like her though on Marvelous Miss Maisel. I really like her character on that.
Yeah. So I just like it. It's rewatchable for me.
Yeah,
I just love it.
I'm with
There's
you. I
physical
love 40-Year-Old
comedy
Virgin.
and when like the Leslie Mann little part where like that
Yeah, for
part's
sure.
just so silly and fun. It's just a fun time. And when I'm thinking movies, I just want to have a fun time and be entertained. It doesn't have to be like the most serious thing ever. Obviously, if you look at my list.
We know. We know, Tara. All right, I'm gonna give you my top three quick.
Okay.
My number 3 is What About Bob?
Oh God. Sorry.
Let me read my top 3. What About Bob? Predator, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest are my top 3 movies. So Tara, I think you probably reacted to that because you don't have What About Bob on your top 10, which is a fucking
I know.
joke.
What the hell?
Just like Wonka's not on. I mean, we both have
Yeah.
glaring mistakes.
Ugh.
So What About Bob is my third favorite movie of all time. Very similar reasoning behind that in your 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is like as a family, our dad always loved it. We enjoyed watching it with our father.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if mom ever liked. I think
No.
mom likes it too, right?
I don't
No,
think
she hates
so.
it.
I think she just
I think
doesn't get it why we like it so much.
It's not for everybody, but
No.
it's one of our favorite movies as a family. I think that Bill Murray is a star in it.
So good.
But then also Richard Dreyfuss is so funny. Is just this
So
pissed
good.
off, like.
And the fact that like he
Fair.
is correct. Like Richard
Yeah,
Dreyfuss
he's
is
right the whole time.
Yeah. But he looks like
He's
an
actually
asshole.
correct.
But it's like, oh, this crazy person found me on vacation and now he wants to be a part of my family. Like, no.
Right. Well, he is an asshole anyway. Like
Yeah,
he is an asshole.
such an asshole. A pompous.
And but then like it's overly but then Bill steps out of place and it
Yeah,
really becomes quite the movie, and I really enjoy it. I love What About Bob. Not
so
everyone loves What About Bob, but they're wrong
they
because
are
it's like
wrong.
also very quotable.
It's so good.
Um,
Ugh, I'm so mad at
and then
myself.
my number two is Predator. That is my favorite action movie of all time. As a kid, I watched it so much. Like I have owned it like on multiple different like tapes and DVDs, and I love Predator. I haven't watched it in a while. It's funny, like I've been watching stuff with Miranda. We haven't watched What About Bob yet. We haven't watched Predator yet together. And she's like, when are we gonna watch these movies that are your favorite movies? But Predator is just like, I don't know. It's like talk about a movie being two movies in one. There's the first half of the movie. Tara, have you seen Predator?
No, I've not seen.
Oh, oh boy. I'm so excited because Tara gets to watch Predator this week. DDD, 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 do boop. It took the whole list basically, but you're watching Predator. It's unbeatable, Tara.
All right.
You're gonna be like, this is so fun. I feel like these are the ones that I get you to watch that you end up liking the most are these like 80s action movies that
Yeah.
like that are just kind of fun and like but also awesome. So I'm not going to ruin it too much, but like the first half of the movie is like almost like a war movie, and then there's like the alien part of the movie, the Predator part of the movie. They're
Ooh,
like in
Alien.
Arnold. Oh, you didn't know that Predator was an alien?
No, I don't know anything about it.
That's amazing to me
Yeah.
because there's been a million like reboots of like a billion sequels, Tara, and the aliens are always in the sequel. Like the original's different, but like the sequels, like they're very prevalent in the trailers and everything.
No, I didn't even know there's sequels or prequels
Oh
or.
my god, there's Alien, or there's Predator, Alien versus Predators. There's Predator 2. There's Predator, the Predators. There's reboots. There's one that just came out Friday called Prey, and it takes place like back during like early like right as like people start settling in America, and it's like it follows an indigenous woman
Oh
that
wow.
has to deal with them like with like you know old weapons. I couldn't think of the word. It was okay. It wasn't that good. But the first one is like Arnold's in it, Tara. That's all you need to know, and he's huge in it. It's Arnold at his peak, right around like Terminator time. It is good. Trust.
All right. I'm
Predator.
excited.
You're gonna have. I'm so excited that you get to watch Predator. I'll probably watch it this week too because I haven't seen it in a while. Predator.
It's on my list.
And then my number one is. Wait, hold on. Back to Predator. Predator's dope because it's got huge dudes shooting guns in the woods. Like, what else? I mean, looking buff, looking thick, killing it.
All right.
CrossFit. It's like
I
it
was
was
gonna say, is it
CrossFit.
like
It's basically
CrossFit?
it's CrossFit Games in the wild.
Ooh.
And then One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is my favorite movie of all time. Depressing, but like just such a well made and like funny movie at moments, and like sad. It's like almost a perfect movie. Really love One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The book's good too, but the movie is Jack Nicholson's a star in it. And there's just have you seen that, Tara?
No.
Oh God. I guess we'll get that one at a later date.
I don't know.
That's kind of a
I
longer
don't.
that's
And
kind of a no. No, there's no I don't know. You'll be watching it. It's an excellent movie.
I feel like I know stuff that happens in it, and I just don't want to watch it.
You do. You do, but it's worth it. It's so good. Yes, but there's some sad, depressing parts, but there's also like lots of fun, and one of the greatest villains in movie history is in it in Nurse Ratchet. So uh Netflix like made a movie or a TV show called Ratchet or whatever.
Really?
And it's like about like it's like a prequel to that movie. I don't know. I think it's a prequel to the or maybe it's a postal of that movie
A
where it's like a
postal.
horror show. It's like a
Oh.
horror show, Tara, and it like totally misses the point of what's like why she's like so terrifying and bad.
Mm.
Like it's like really like it's like so over the top. I refuse to watch it. It's the same people that make like American Horror Story.
Oh, okay.
So that's our top 10 movies of all time. Tara, that took a little while.
It
Hopefully
did take a
people didn't
little
get too
while.
bored. So we only got time for a couple of quick things here. Do you have a really quick grievance? Also,
Yeah.
guys, send your emails to mellonfights.com. Nope. Mellonfights at gmail.com of your top 10 movies or
Yeah.
your top three plus movies. Top three plus. Please. MELLON fights at gmail.com. Back to you, Tara.
Okay. My grievance is Bruce Springsteen. Should have been my grievance last week, but it's my
Yeah.
grievance this week. So both my brother Trinity and I got like pre-registered to try to get tickets when they went on sale since they're a hot ticket item. And Bruce, he's supposed to be that working class hero, even though he's never really been that. But like, he really gives people hope, and like, uh, he was selling his tickets for $350 for just one, which is bullshit. Like, what the hell? How is anyone supposed to like go and see Bruce Springsteen for that kind of money?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He doesn't need more money. And it's
No.
like, and it's not like, and it's not, that was on like secondary, that was like, you were in line and like,
Yes.
you earned the right to like get a ticket at
Decent.
like a regular price.
Right.
And like, I've heard people say things like, well, someone's like, well, Ticketmaster like is like kind of who sets the prices. Then guess what? You don't work with Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Because plenty of small bands will like we don't want to deal with that sort of shit. We don't want to like deal with that sort of thing. Bruce is wealthy enough where he could be selling his tickets a totally different, like more like efficient way that doesn't deal
Right.
with bullshit like that. The venues have deals with these. Ticketmaster's a dirty thing, but guess what? Like,
Right.
don't do those venues then, Bruce. Like, fuck off, man.
And
Like,
like, because
don't you can't
Ticketmaster,
be. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Well, Ticketmaster,
Go
they
ahead.
so it was like 350 for a ticket plus all the fees, put it over $400. So for two tickets, it was over $800, and it's like, what the fuck? And it's
You
like,
guys don't
Bruce,
like.
don't you want to like play for your actual fans and not have like the same like eight people in the front row like jamming with you? Like, come on, buddy. Like, it just doesn't make any
It,
sense.
it is what happens too. It's always the same people at these
Yeah.
concerts that can afford to get the tickets, and they just like follow them around, and like
Uh-huh.
I don't know how they have this income,
Well,
but
last time, because I went to the show 6 years ago, and the price for the like general admission was $150. And this
which is
year,
like
which is fine. Like,
doable.
yes, it's doable. And that's kind of what we were expecting, maybe a little bit more, but holy shit, it sucked. It
It
sucked.
tripled.
Yeah.
It tripled
And
basically, not
we
quite,
saw
but
people that had, oh yeah, we were at the show in Minnesota yesterday. Like, we didn't get into the pit today, but we'll try again tomorrow in Chicago. Like what? So it sucks. I wanted to see him one last time, but what are you gonna do?
yeah, yeah. I guess the issue is like you can't go out and like pretend like it'd be one thing if he just did it, if that's just what his prices were. But he
Yeah.
sells himself like it. I would respect him more. It's that he sells himself as this guy that like, and he almost like tries to like. It's got this eliteness to it, and it's like, and I see and I understand sometimes why people on the right and like hate like left. We'll say leftists, because they do stupid bullshit like that, where it's like you're full of shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're all full of shit. And Bruce is full of shit, and I'm pissed at him. I'm with Trent. Trent and I talked to him. He's like, I haven't been able to listen to Bruce because he's been pissing me off for the last bit.
Mhm.
And I get it. I get it. I'm the same. I haven't really been putting him on either. It's been annoying. Just because he's kind of a bitch.
Well, it's just sucks where it's like he's like a billionaire and I just don't understand
Yeah, he just sold his whole
why.
catalog for so much money.
Yeah, I just don't understand why he.
Listen, if he was taking that money and then doing something with it, that was like positive. Maybe I could see it, but that's not really what's happening. It's just like he's growing his wealth a bunch.
Yeah.
So he's just as bad as the shitty, like, he's not a working man. He's not. And he never, I mean, he became famous and wealthy at a very young age,
Yeah.
which is fine. I don't have a problem with that aspect of it.
No.
But don't sell this like false character to people that are like, yeah, man, I need this to like get me through the day. And like, I can, I get it. Someone gets me. He doesn't get anybody. And listen, that's just like we talked about athletes last week. Don't put people up on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's not good because they're mostly dickheads, especially if they're like very visible. A lot of times you get that visible, you've done some dumb shit or some rude shit or some fucked up shit. Stepped on some people's necks to get where you're at. Not always the case,
Right.
but it's possible. So don't hold people at such a high standard because you don't know what sort of dumb shit they're up to.
They could be a regular
What
old
sort?
Tony Montana.
It could be regular. I almost respect Tony Montana though, because he was the working man. He was working hard to get that dough. He was, he had some moral. Like what he said, he stuck by. He wasn't fucking false. He wasn't fake, at least. Where I feel like Bruce had some Tony Montana in him. Anyway, so that's that.
That's
Couple
bad.
quick emails. It's a good grievance. Listen, we're the working man's pod. Whoo! MELLONfights, working man's pod. Before I get to emails here real quick, because I want to finish up with the emails, I will say a couple things on the horizon. I think we're going to move to 2 pods at some point here. It'll be a little extra work for me, but I don't care. Also, I'm starting to set up a Patreon. I don't really know how it works exactly, guys. We'll see. I may not ever, you might not ever have to deal with the Patreon thing. I know people do Patreon, but it's a way to like fund certain things for the pod. And then we got a new logo I was working on that I want to put on some merch. If people think they'd be into that, maybe send like emails on what sort of things you would want it on. Cause I'll probably put on I'm thinking like a hat and maybe like a t-shirt or something like that. The little logo. We'll see. But yeah, that's some stuff coming up in the next couple weeks that hopefully we can get going. And again, just email us at MELLONfights, MELLON fights @gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok or Instagram, and that's Andyland Entertainment on both of those. And don't forget to listen next week and give us your top 10s.
Yeah, give them.
And we'll have something like that coming up soon. Maybe give us ideas for top 3 pluses, top 3 pluses, 3 that matter, and then some stuff that goes along with it. Or just top 3s. The classic top 3s are always good. Just give us top 3s. That's all we want, actually. Yeah. Top 3s only. And then anything on top of that stuff, Tara, before I go to emails that you want to mention?
Nope. You're doing good.
All right. We only have a couple emails. Oh, shit. An email came in. Dad and Miranda will do the same thing when they know we're recording. They'll send one quick to get it in. But our first one's from Jody.
Ooh.
Jody is our cousin. She sent an email. And the first thing she started out with is 3 things she used to think were cool as a kid. Now she thinks is dumb. Heelys is number 1.
Ooh, they're still cool.
I agree 100%.
Still cool.
I had a pair, she said, but I wasn't good at them, but still rocked them all the time. They're still cool. Yeah. I like Heelys. You were not wrong to think Heelys were cool. I was pissed I never had a pair. I never would have been good at them either. Mm-mm. But people that could do it were fucking rad.
Yeah.
So they're not dumb, Jody.
No.
Don't say they're dumb. You were right as a kid.
Yes.
You were so far 0 for 1 because you were correct when you were a kid. This next one's right, though. Updating Facebook status with literally anything I was doing. Going to work, going to practice, etc. I didn't really do that with Facebook. It was usually like, what sort of ridiculous thing can I put? But I did do that with like instant messenger. My away message would be like, he's laying in the backyard watching the moon rise. I don't know, stupid shit.
I will like
But
look
she's
back.
totally right.
It'll have like memories from 12 years ago, and I cringe so hard at everything I used to do on Facebook.
Absolutely. Facebook was social media. Though social media back then, Tara, was better.
Yeah.
It was safer. It was less of a problem.
Yes.
It was more like innocent.
Yep.
I don't actually mind it. Bring it back. And then her last one, actually, I disagree with as well. She said having dedicated ringtones and downloaded for every close friend and family member. But now she just basically has it on silent.
Yes.
And vibrate. But I actually still think it was having like fun ringtones and you know who was calling because they had a cool ringtone was the best. It's still cool. I wish I'm gonna switch. I think like Miranda has different tones for everybody, but I think I'm gonna switch it up to some ringtones for people because it is cool.
I felt like it was like a little easier to do it too. Like yeah, where it's just like
well, it was all you could really do. Right. So you like spent your time doing it, and so it became easy. You just download ringtones all day.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It was fun. Oh, I want to do that now and just have real fun ones. I'll still keep it on silent, but
Jody's getting one. I'll tell you that, Jody. Yeah, but for the times it's not on silent and you hear it, you're gonna be excited.
Exactly.
Adam gave her 3 things as well.
Ooh.
Pokemon cards, which I was never into, but
you'd have a lot of, but you'd have a lot of money because those things have.
Well, that's not always true. Just like baseball cards, you might not ever had the right ones.
I don't know.
Long hair, and then in parentheses on him.
Oh, okay.
Because I felt like that was definitely a cut towards me, which was like, all right, eat shit. But yeah, you know what? I can't picture Adam with long hair. To be quite honest.
Either.
It doesn't seem like the type of dude he is. I kind of want to see some pictures of it now.
I know.
So maybe if you could email that to us, Jode. And then Chumbawamba.
I love that was his choice, Chumbo.
I got to be honest. I think Chumbawamba is cool. I
don't know. I only know one song and it was awesome, but I love that he picked Chumbawamba.
And then she said she's not heard the theory about Eminem being a clone, but she does remember hearing the theory about Avril Lavigne dying, and that the Avril Lavigne we all know and love is not the current Avril Lavigne.
Yep, I've heard that one too.
I've definitely heard that one. Yeah. That one's got legs. But but I don't think they said she's a clone. I think she's just like some other girl, right?
Yeah, I think it's some other girl. Because
there's that one, and then there's the name. Right, there's that one and the one that Lady Gaga killed some girl and took her identity.
Yep.
That one is really good.
I had a deep dive.
Those I like better than the Eminem clone. Mm-hmm. I think Eminem's just a weird dude, but the Avril Lavigne one and then the
Lady Gaga.
The Lady Gaga one. If you guys haven't looked into that, Lady Gaga murdered a girl. Apparently, they're claiming, and then now she's took over her
she took over her style and persona.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very. Look into that. And then we have, she sent a link, but we'll have to look at that later. And then what was it? Oh, she said that her and Adam watched The Most Hated Man on the Internet, which I've heard people say is really interesting. The guy in it is a piece of shit. I don't know if you know what it was, Tara, but he was like hacking people's like phones and computers and shit and putting out like their nudes.
Oh God.
Like naked pictures, like just like not just even famous people, just like regular people, I think is what it was. Right. But I do want to watch that. Maybe we can talk about that at some point. So that's Jody. Let's see if we can get through these a little quicker. It's getting long, but I don't care. People love us. This is from Dave. Dave sent us it.
Hey Dave.
He said this is long since we didn't have any emails last week, so he wanted to. He said Watson pisses him off. He says Watson pisses him off. Mm-hmm. He says he's actually a licensed massage therapist. Oh, which I don't think I knew.
I didn't either. Interesting.
So, but Watson pisses him off. He said he's kind of bummed he couldn't get in on that lawsuit at somehow, but He said he should listen to your breakdown of the black eye, like the things you were into as a kid, like over and over again. It was like very funny. Cool things though. He said things that we thought were cool. He thought were cool as kids that aren't cool. Number one was MTV Spring Break.
What?
I think he's right. I think he's right though. Like when you like, it really never was that cool. It was
Okay.
always a little overrated.
You might be
Why, did you
right.
love
Now
it?
that I did, but
was
now
always
that I'm kind of
it was
thinking about it, it's just
it was
always
always a
a
little
mess.
overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never worked. Nothing was ever that good.
No.
They would have their shows there. It was dumb.
Yeah.
His number two, and they had Mike Alberti's first 10 seconds on TV at the end of an hour-long episode of what was he on? All My Children? Was that the one he was on?
Yeah.
He's on
Oh
All My
my
Children, right?
gosh. Yeah.
He said, yeah, we took a lunch break off and went to watch it. And
That's
went on
so
till the very
funny.
end. And it was like, hello. He's like, yeah, that was pretty overrated, but it
That's
was
so
also very
good.
cool. It was also cool. And the last one's really funny because he says finally the haircut known as the bowl cut, but it's, I don't know if he knows this. It's called a bowl
Bowl.
cut, David.
Not bowl. Like he spelled like bowl.
Yeah, Bull, which
Oh.
I actually was like, well, maybe I'm wrong, so I had
No.
to Google it. But no, it's bowl cut.
Because it's like you
like,
put a
I
bowl
typed- I
over your
typed in-
head and then
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is it's
Yeah.
supposed to look like but it was very popular there for a second. Like the cool
So-
kids had it. Like,
Oh yeah.
originally it was like poor people had it, and then it became like popular, like a cool thing to have, and like people would dye their hair.
Oh yeah.
Certain but like in the 70s it was just like what like mothers would do, like because they didn't have money, they just like do a quick haircut like with a bowl to keep it even. But then it became like a stylish thing. Like all like the teen heartthrobs had it on those shows.
Yeah, they did. Devin Sawa.
But Dave is right. It was a tough look. It was
is
a tough look. 3
Those
movies
were
Tara
good.
probably hasn't, but it's bowl cut, not bowl cut. Dave.
Bowl.
Monster Squad is a movie he says you may have not watched.
Nope.
Big Trouble in Little China. I've never actually seen Monster Squad. Big Trouble in Little China, I've seen. It's fun. I should watch Monster Squad. And then the last one is clearly a good bit, but Debbie Does Dallas. Sometimes people, I feel like that's something Dad would say.
Yeah.
And then, so Tara, I'm not gonna. He's put something for us to watch. Maybe you should watch it, and we'll talk about it next week because
Okay.
we're running out of time.
Yeah.
But it's I'll forward it to you. But it's
Okay.
an extreme sport
Ooh.
that he think could take off if monkeypox gets like little. If we all got to stay home for that or something. But it's extreme. It's extreme ironing,
Okay.
and it's kind of fun.
All right. I'll look at it and we'll talk about it next week.
Hold on. Let's see what Dad said. He actually made it hard on us. Real quick from Dad, and then we're out of here. He was sad to hear we got 0 emails last week, so he sent one quick. He would fuck Mary, Mary, and kill the Cheetos Crunchy because they've taken over his life. So we do all he'd fuck Mary because they're taking over my life. The Cheez-Its and Goldfish don't even exist to me.
Yeah.
So all of the above is Cheetos
Yeah.
Crunchy.
He loves him so much.
His 3 top favorite convenience store purchases are Cheetos. His favorite Wisconsin celebrities are Steve Miller, Chris Farley, and Chester Cheese. Prove me wrong, he says. That Chester Cheese isn't from Wisconsin.
Chester Cheeto.
Is said Sean Watson take is it's a man's world, just ask James Brown.
Oh, okay.
So basically, which is a great tune. And 3 stinky smells you like. Oh, he wants 3 okay. We might have to do this real quick. 3 stinky smells you like, Tara, really fast. Not your own farts is not it. 3 stinky smells you like. Your own farts we can't pick, which is not fair because that's the best stinky smell because you really can enjoy your own fart. Well, Tara, here's my 3 stinky smells real quick off the top of my head. Cheese is stinky. It just is. I enjoy the smell of cheese even when it's stinky. Number 2, I like when I got a little bit of pit stink. I like my own pit smell. I love it. I love it. And then the final one is going to be gross, Tara. I'm sorry. But I don't mind when a lady's got like a scent to her, like a little stinky lady scent. What's this look? What am I supposed to say?
I don't know.
What am I supposed to say?
I just don't like that.
You don't have to like it. I like it.
Oh boy, I don't think I like good smelling things.
Pick three
Let's see.
quick. Let's go.
I don't mind the smell of like cabbage. I like to eat it, and I like the smell of it. I think. Bad smell. Bad smell. Okay, this is gonna be weird, but when like somebody like first lights up a cigarette without like
Before
smoking,
they,
I don't mind
I know what
that
you're
smell.
saying.
I kind of like that smell. Um,
No, the actual cigarette itself isn't too bad. It's when they exhale it is when it gets gross, in my opinion.
I mean, I after that first light up, I hate it, everything about it. But like
Okay.
the first light up, it's kind of like I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's like kind of sexy.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I like that. And
um,
what's your last one?
and then my last one, stinky smell, stinky smell. Maybe like weed.
You like the smell of weed?
Maybe weed.
You like the smell of weed?
I mean, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I
I've never
can't
heard
think
you go
of
like,
anything
dang, I
else
love the
that's
smell of that
stinky.
weed. I don't know. Like sometimes it's like
Uh,
it's fine.
okay. Maybe a stinky hot guy that has like
Oh,
a little bit of
oh
patio.
wow. Just a little man. Just say man, little man musk. How about that?
Just like a little like man mask, but
Not what I'm saying.
not like ball sack
Yeah,
smell.
you don't like the smell of
Like
balls.
little no. No.
Okay, but like a man
But
that's
like
a man that maybe like you know has
maybe he was
been
like
manly.
working
He's been
out,
manly. He's been
working
manly.
on the
No,
house
maybe he's been
and
manly
yeah.
for a little bit. Been
Yeah.
chopping wood. Maybe his sweat is mixed with like fresh pine. Okay,
Yes. So it's like just a
just enough man
tinge.
scent. The
Yeah.
pheromones are kicking in. I got you.
Yeah.
And then one final thing from him, he says his grievance of his is when people park too close and no one can open the door at that point. It's like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Mhm.
Plenty of parking spots
I
available.
think that's a great one.
Tara, have a Tuesday.
Have a
Have
Tuesday.
yourself a Tuesday.
Have yourself a Tuesday.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Melon
Melon
fights.
fights.